So you guys have been asking for me to do an Amiibo showcase, so I thought that I would do it today. For those of you who don't really know what Amiibos are, they are Nintendo figures, all from the Super Smash Bros collection. They're not just a collectible figure, but you can scan them into your game. They have an NFC chip and a small memory file inside of them. Scan them into your game on the e-reader right over here, either on the Wii U or the new Nintendo 3DS, which I don't have, but you would scan it like right over here. Depending on the Nintendo game, they unlock or do specific things. For example, in Smash, what they do is it creates a custom fighter who you can bring to other people's houses, and it will learn and play based off of your style. See here, Amiibo. So I thought that I would do a showcase with all the Amiibos. The way I'm gonna rate them is based off of comparing them to their Super Smash Bros. Trophy design, which is what they were based off of. I will rate it out of 5 points, 5 being the highest. So, let's get started. Here is the first wave that came with 12 figures that was released in November. As for the rarest figures in the release, it was Villager, Wii Fit Trainer, and Marth, also known as the Holy Trinity, the unicorn level rarity. Stores only received 3 or less of each figure. Since then, though, all of them have been re-released. The next rarest Amiibo in this wave was Fox, and then the next, which I would consider to be uncommon Amiibos, were Samus and Kirby. The rest over here were considered very, very common. So let's dig in. The OG, very, very detailed over here. Rating him based off of 5 on how accurate and how good it looks versus the pose in Super Smash Bros. I would give him a 5. Next we have Peach. She has a lot of detail work on her dress. Unfortunately, I would have to say that her face changes depending on which Amiibo you get. And I don't think her face actually really looks like her, so I would actually have to give her a 2.5. Yoshi is next. He has a very simple pose, but he still looks very good. I would give him a 4 out of 5. Kirby does have some lines around his body. Other than that, he is an awesome Amiibo. I would give him 4.5 out of 5 since he looks pretty much exactly like his Super Smash Bros. Trophy. This is my reprint Villager. I do like it more than the original Villager. Really do not like what looks like his feet are encased in ice, and I do still think that they did not quite get the face correct. So I would give Villager 2 out of 5. Next is Pikachu. When comparing it to the Super Smash Bros. One, his tail is a lot smaller. I would give Pikachu a 4 out of 5. Next is Wii Fit Trainer. Has the infamous cast on her foot. Other than that, she looks pretty good. I would give her a 3.5. I still really like the pose. Next we have Link, one of my least favorite Amiibos. He just does not look at all like his pose in Super Smash Bros. I actually don't really mind the stand too much, but he's looking down and his face just looks nothing like what he looks like, and the pose is actually really off. I do like the detail work, so I will give him a 1.5 out of 5. Next is Donkey Kong. I would give him a 4 out of 5. Next we have Marth. This is the reprinted Marth. His sword has been a big problem. His face also has been a really big problem, and I still think that it's nowhere near as good as Lucina's face. Other than that, his pose is awesome and pretty well recreated. I would give him a 3 out of 5. Next we have Fox. I really like how Fox turned out. I don't mind the stands either. I would give him a 5 out of 5. They did great work recreating him. Finally, Samus. As with all the Samuses that everyone has, Samus starts tilting to the left. I notice they didn't hide her feet. See how she's lifting her foot over there? She still looks really cool. I would give her a 4 out of 5. It would have been a 5 if she wasn't always tilting. Next we have Wave 2. These were released in December. The rarest Amiibos in this wave at unicorn status were originally Captain Falcon, Little Mac, and Pit. So let's get started. Here's Captain Falcon. I really like his pose. You don't see any other action figure like this. I don't really mind the stand. I give him a 4.5 out of 5. Next is Luigi, one of my other least favorite Amiibos. I think that it would have been so much cooler if they were able to remove the stand and still get him to balance. So I would give him 1.5 out of 5. Next is Diddy Kong. I don't really mind his yellow stand over there. I like his pose. I would give him a 4 out of 5. Next we have Little Mac, very well recreated. He's a really tiny Amiibo. I would would give him a score of a 4 out of 5. Next we have Zelda. I do have some problems with her hair in the front. It looks a little bit dreadlocky. Other than that, I really like the pose. I'd give her a score of a 3 out of 5. Next is Pit. He looks incredible. I would give him a 5 out of 5. And here are the Wave 3 Amiibos that came out in February. This is when I actually started becoming a more hardcore collector. This is also when Nintendo of America decided to start doing store-exclusive Amiibos, which means that certain stores were the exclusive seller of specific Amiibos. Each store exclusive ended up becoming incredibly rare. The store exclusives were Rosalina to Target, Shulk to GameStop, Meta Knight to Best Buy, and Lucario to Toys R Us. As for Unicorn Amiibos, the rare ones in this wave included Ike and King DeDeDe. So let's dive into wave 3. First off is Bowser. Bowser looks very good. I do think that he's very angular in that when you look at him from different angles, he does end up looking kind of weird. He also doesn't really look like his character in Super Smash Bros. So I would give him a 3 out of 5. Next is Lucario. This pose is good. I do not care for the stand, but if you angle it correctly, you can kind of hide the stand a little bit. So I would give him a 3.5 out of 5. Next is Megaman. I give him a 4.5 out of 5. Toon Link, I would give him a 4.5 out of 5. Next is Sonic. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the stand and how they did this. I would give him a 3 out of 5. Next is Sheik. I really like Sheik's pose. I would actually give Sheik a 5 out of 5. Next, King DeDeDe. I think that King DeDeDe looks very good. I would give him a 5 out of 5. Next is Shulk. He has a very unique pose. However, I do think that his face and his hair just does not look like him at all. So I would have to give him a 2.5 out of 5. Next is Meta Knight. I'm not too big of a fan of the stand on the back, but he still looks really good. I would give him a 4 out of 5. Next is Rosalina and Luma. I'm not a big fan of how thick the wand is, but I don't know what they would have done to fix that. 3.5 out of 5. And finally, Ike from Fire Emblem. He looks incredible. His face is not perfect, but it's a lot better than Marth's. I would give him 4 out of 5. And here is Wave 4, which came out the end of May for the United States. Store exclusives, Jigglypuff to Target and Greninja to Toys R Us, and Ness was an exclusive to GameStop. The other 2 rare Amiibos include Robin and Lucina, who are very, very hard to find. But let's start off with Robin. He looks exactly like his character. I would give him a 5. Next is Jigglypuff. Looks okay to me. The stand and also the circle around its belly over here just doesn't look correct. So I would give Jigglypuff a 2.5 out of 5. Next is Ness. Ness looks relatively good. He doesn't have a neck over here. It does look okay when you angle him like this though. And he has a really cool backpack. I would give Ness a 3.5 out of 5. It's hard to mess up Pac-Man. I think that Pac-Man looks very good. I would give him 5 out of 5. Wario is next. I'm not a fan of this at all. I thought that they could have done something more like what they did with DK, where they just stuck one underneath his butt. I think this looks so bad. Other than that though, he looks incredible. 4 out of 5. Next is Charizard. He has a line over here on his jaw. This is like the only thing that I have a problem with. I would give him a 3.5. Lucina looks very, very good. I'd give her a 5 out of 5. Now we have Greninja. I love the tongue, although I don't like these stands. I'd give him a 4 out of 5. And finally we have the Wave 5A, excluding Golden Mario over here, of course. However, they will be considered Wave 5 in the United States, along with a whole ton of other Amiibos. Right now, all that is known is that in America, the retail exclusive will be Pit, and Palutena is an Amazon exclusive. Ganondorf and Zero Suit Samus are expected to come out in September in the United States. As for Golden Mario over here, I just stuck him here just because I thought that I would review him anyway. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start with Palutena over here. So much detail work. I know a lot of people have problems with their hand looking a little bit large. I think that it only looks large in pictures. When you actually look at her in person, the hand does not look very big at all. My biggest complaint with her is her eyes. Her eyes just don't look correct. I would have to give her a 3.5 out of 5. Next we have Dark Pit, his crossbow gun over here, which looks incredible. I love how they kept it long. One problem though is that when you compare him to the Smash Bros trophy, he's aiming the gun up. In the Amiibo pose, you can see it's pretty much just aiming it sideways. And so I would give him a 4 out of 5. Next, we have Ganondorf over here. He also looks incredible. Look how much detail work he has. So I would give him a 5 out of 5. Next we have Zero Suit Samus. Her hair is not yellow, it's actually blonde in the actual game, but somehow they decided to change it to yellow. I still think that she's a relatively good looking amiibo, but I would have to give her a 3 out of 5. And finally we have Gold Mario over here, who was a Walmart exclusive. He looks really cool. I still really like this amiibo. I would give him a rating of a 4 out of 5. The gold that they used is nice and shiny. It looks really nice. So there we go, there's all the amiibos. Ta-da! I hope you guys enjoyed my Amiibo collection showcase. There are still, I would say, at least 10 more Amiibos that are coming out from the Super Smash Bros. Line. And so I will review them when I get them. Thanks for watching.